Flora MacDonald. That was the revolutionary woman I chose, and you can see why. Obviously, I'm from Scottish ancestry, and so Flora MacDonald is a name that has been known in my family for generations. But who was she? Well, Flora MacDonald was a lass from a very well-to-do family in the Inner Hebrides of Scotland. Their family owned a tremendous amount of land by Scottish standards, and so she did fairly well for herself at that point. She was born in 1722. Well, when she was in her 20s, about 23, we had what was called the 45 Rising, or the Rising of 45. That is when Charles Stuart, the heir apparent of what should have been his kingdom, Great Britain, is going to come with French support, come to Scotland, raise an army, and rise up against the Hanoverian kings. Well, it was going rather well. The Highlanders were able to push their way all the way down into southern England. And a man by the name of O'Neill, who gets better credit in Bambridge book article, is going to convince him that he would be better off pulling back and just defending Scotland. Well, that's going to happen. The British Army will be able to reunite, and they will beat the stockings off of the Scots at the Battle of Culloden. And Prince Charles Stuart, better known in Scotland as Bonnie Prince Charlie, is going to have to flee for his life. Well, he will end up getting off to the western coast, and he needs to escape so that he can go to an island called Skye, where he would be picked up by a French ship to take him to France. But to get through the various islands, he needed to have someone who was basically a powerful person. So Flora MacDonald is going to be asked to take on the task. She will put Charlie in a boat and dress him up like he's a servant, and they will sail from the coast over to the Isle of Skye, which is my daughter's middle name. From there, he gets on a boat and sails away. And it becomes a secret that is immediately leaked out. She will, for doing this good deed, will be imprisoned for 3 years as being a Jacobite. And upon her being released, she will go with her family, go to the Americas, and she will settle in North Carolina. So that is the story of her. And from this, we remember her for something that she did. What she did is going to then be written into song, which is almost a national anthem in Scotland. Swift bonny boat, like a bird on the wing, over the sea you sail, carry the lad who was born to be king, over the sea to Skye. Well, that just carries it, and her fame will follow her wherever she goes. And just like Betsy Ross, she is known for one thing, for one event. Betsy Ross made a flag that was, George Washington's favorite, and the event that Flora MacDonald did was to rescue the Bonnie Prince and get him out of Scotland. You could liken this more, I think, to maybe Paul Revere. Paul Revere is well known for doing the Midnight Ride, and he gets fame from a Longfellow poem called The Midnight Ride of Paul Revere that every schoolboy had to learn from the early 1800s on. She's known because of that song. Well, they will come to the North Carolina, which was a popular colony for the Highlanders and Scots in general. They will move up in the back country, which is more similar to the Highlands of Scotland. But they arrived somewhere between either 1774 or April of 1775. Bamage disagrees with the numbers, and the North Carolina Historical Society has its own numbers. Well, her husband, Alan MacDonald, same last name, not related directly, is going to be given a commission in the British Army. And so the MacDonalds are loyalists. He will fight in the war, and at the Moores Creek, he will be defeated with the rest of the Highlanders and taken as prisoner. And for the next few years, poor Flora MacDonald is going to end up living alone and having people harass her because they are loyalists as the revolution turned. She then is going to move away, and that is also under debate. Bamage says that she went from Charleston over to Skye and on a British ship, and they were even attacked by a French ship. Well, North Carolina says that she moved to Halifax, Nova Scotia, got together with her husband, and then went back to Skye. However, another one, the North Carolina-pedia, says she went to New York, and that's where her husband was released. They then moved to Nova Scotia, stayed there for a while, and then went back to Skye. So there you kind of have the history of Flora MacDonald. Now, is she important to the American Revolution? Really, only if the British would have won would she be looked upon as a heroine of the American Revolution. She is no Betsy Ross. Women are very important when we look upon American history, and especially the American Revolution. They are so often overlooked. But they were patriots suffering under the British rule, suffering because of the homeland, trying to keep the family together. So no, she isn't going to make it into the pantheon of great women of the American Revolution. So any complaints I have, yes, Bamage just says things that get me wrong. He refers to the 45 Rising as the wrong cause. No, it was the right cause. I'm a Scot, so I'm biased here. But no, it was the true prince who was coming back to reclaim his throne from the imposters, those German Hanoverians. That's pretty much it. So, my hand. Cheers.